No Caitlin Clark? No Angel Reese? No problem. ESPN reports record WNBA viewership for 2025 season. Despite missing some marquee players for significant chunks of the season, ESPN and ABC reported record viewership for WNBA regular season games in 2025. Those networks televised 25 regular season games, averaging 1.3 million viewers, ESPN reported. That's up 6% from 2024. ESPN's most-watched game this season was the Indiana Fever's season opener against the Chicago Sky on May 17, which drew 2.7 million viewers. Viewership grew overall despite significant absences by the Fever's Caitlin Clark, the Sky's Angel Reese, and the New York Liberty's Breanna Stewart. The ESPN networks are the exclusive broadcaster of the WNBA playoffs, which started Sunday. WNBA Playoffs Bracket 2025. First-round series are best-of-3 games, with the better seed playing at home for Games 1 and, if necessary, 3. Chloe Peterson is your best Fever follow. Watch IndyStar TV for more coverage and sign up for our Caitlin Clark Fever newsletter. The WNBA entered its 2025 season surrounded by questions, doubts, and a touch of cynicism. Pundits whispered, could the league survive if its brightest new stars, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, were sidelined by injuries? Clark, the sharpshooting phenom from Iowa who had turned Indiana Fever games into must-watch spectacles, was forced into rehab after a painful late-season injury. Reese, the charismatic and fierce competitor from LSU who had ignited rivalries and headlines alike, was also missing stretches of action. For years, traditional wisdom suggested that the WNBA lived and died by its star power. Fewer marquee names, fewer casual viewers. Less drama, less demand. Yet, as ESPN reported this month, the 2025 regular season has defied every prediction. Viewership soared. Records broke. The WNBA didn't just survive without its rookie headliners in uniform, it thrived. The shockwave of the ratings report. ESPN's latest numbers landed like a three-point dagger at the buzzer. Average viewership for regular season games jumped another 18% from 2024. More than 6 million viewers tuned in for at least one nationally televised game. Streaming platforms like ESPN Plus and Disney's new integrated sports hub reported unprecedented traffic spikes. But the most surprising stat wasn't about sheer volume. It was about distribution. For the first time in league history, multiple WNBA franchises, Seattle Storm, Minnesota Lynx, Las Vegas Aces, and New York Liberty, had games crossing the 1 million live viewer threshold without Clark or Reese on the floor. The storyline had shifted. The league wasn't just the Caitlin and Angel show. It had become something bigger, deeper, and, in some ways, stronger. A league no longer defined by absence. The easy narrative would have been, the WNBA struggles without its golden rookies. That was certainly the storyline some detractors were eager to spin last spring. Clark's injury was treated like a disaster for television contracts, while Reese's absence was cast as a marketing nightmare. But instead of collapsing, the league structure revealed its resilience. Aya Wilson, still in her prime, dominated highlight reels with her blend of power and finesse. Breanna Stewart continued to be the definition of quiet excellence, anchoring the Liberty's campaigns with double-doubles that looked effortless. Nneka Agwamike, Nefisa Collier, Sabrina Ionescu, Kelsey Plum. The list of established stars reminded fans that the WNBA had never been a one- or two-player show. Meanwhile, new and unexpected names emerged. Players who might have once been background figures stepped into the spotlight. Viewers learned the stories of rookies drafted outside the lottery, undrafted scrappers, and veterans who had been grinding for years. The league, as it turned out, had depth. And fans showed up for it. The Caitlin and Angel effect, even in their absence. It would be naive to pretend Clark and Reese didn't still loom large over the season. Their jerseys continued to outsell nearly everyone else's. Clips of their college exploits still dominated TikTok feeds. And every injury update, every sideline appearance, every Instagram story became headline-worthy. But here's the paradox. Their absence might have fueled the fire as much as their presence once did. Fans tuned in searching for the next Caitlin, or Next Angel. With the spotlight open, games carried the thrill of discovery. Who would step up? Rivalries flourished. The Liberty Aces clashes became East versus West blockbusters. The Lynx Storm matchups rekindled echoes of the 2010s dynasties. Drama didn't fade, it multiplied. With parity rising, nearly every playoff race came down to the wire. Clark and Reese had cracked the door open to mainstream audiences. The rest of the league burst through. ESPN's role, more than just broadcasting. It wasn't just the athletes who carried the momentum, it was the presentation. ESPN invested heavily in storytelling, graphics, and studio shows. Instead of reducing broadcasts to highlight one or two injured stars, the network doubled down on celebrating the collective narrative. Documentary-style features introduced viewers to international rookies, bringing new flair. Mic'd-up segments revealed the raw emotion and banter of in-game communication. Cross-platform coverage made WNBA clips as unavoidable on ESPN's homepage as NFL or NBA headlines. The message was clear: this league belongs in the center of the sports conversation, not the margins. And fans responded. The power of parity. Perhaps the most underrated factor in the ratings boom was simple competitiveness. Gone were the days when a few juggernauts steamrolled the field. In 2025, nearly every matchup mattered. Lower-seeded teams upset contenders. Overtime thrillers stretched late into the night. The idea of a super team era gave way to the chaos era. Parity created suspense. Suspense created demand. And demand created record-breaking numbers. From niche to normal. When the WNBA began in 1997, it was often dismissed as niche programming. Today, it is edging closer to normal sports culture. The Fever selling out home games in Clark's rookie year was no anomaly, it was the beginning of a standard. Liberty and Aces games have become Madison Square Garden and Michelob Ultra Arena staples. Jerseys aren't collector's items anymore, they're fashion statements. And television numbers prove it. People are no longer watching the WNBA as a curiosity. They're watching it because it's good basketball. What the numbers mean for the future. The implications of ESPN's report stretch far beyond bragging rights. Sponsorships are surging. Advertisers now see WNBA games as premium slots, not filler. Media rights value climbs. Networks will have to pay more to keep broadcasting rights, giving the league leverage. Player empowerment grows. Higher revenue means stronger salaries, better benefits, and more investment in player development. And, perhaps most importantly, young athletes watching from their living rooms no longer have to dream small. The WNBA is a viable platform, not a stepping stone. A league bigger than any one player. If 2024 was the year the WNBA became must-watch because of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, then 2025 is the year the league proved it was bigger than both of them combined. Their presence may have lit the fire, but the league's depth, parity, and culture of competition kept it burning when they weren't on the floor. The record numbers aren't just a triumph of survival. They're proof of transformation.